Hey everybody, Phil Crew, Comedy, Cigars, and Music, and today's cigar for review is the Fuente Fuente OpusX. Off the foot and wrapper, I'm getting dry hay, cedar, and just a hint of sweetness. And I must say, the band is pretty cool. All right, so I'm hoping the weather holds out for this review because we were supposed to get rain this morning, and that held off. And according to the meteorologist, it's going to be partly cloudy with no rain until later this afternoon. Back to you, Shelley. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so we are well into the first third here, and I have had just one minor burn touch-up. To me, this is a very, very mild cigar, okay, which isn't my preference, but with my rating system, I'm not looking to only rate cigars on my preference, so I just want to say that right out of the gate. I'm going to try to evaluate the whole cigar for what it's supposed to be. So, flavor-wise, everything, like I said, is very mild, very subtle, but there's an earthiness. I've gotten a nuttiness in there. There was this flavor that I was kind of having a difficulty trying to pinpoint, and then it just kind of hit me on one of the draws, and it was actually some black licorice, which I thought was kind of odd, but very subtle though, very subtle, not like a, hit you in the face black licorice. The draw on it has been unbelievably smooth. I mean, this is just an effortless draw on this cigar. On the retrohale, which is also unbelievably smooth, I might add, a nice fruit note in there, a nice floral note in there, a little bit of earthiness and nuttiness in there as well. And on the finish, there has been some roasted coffee, a little bit of sweetness, and there is this just very, very, very mild spice in there. I mean, just enough to... The thing I like about some spice like that is it just kind of brings everything together, and that's what this spice is doing. Very good. As far as the components of this cigar go, wrapper, binder, fillers, all from the Dominican Republic. All right, so it's already started kind of sprinkling a couple times here. I've thought I've had to move over to Studio B. I don't really have a Studio B, but so I'm just wondering what the weatherman, might be saying at this point. Well, Shelley, it looks like it might rain after all this morning. I'm actually not a meteorologist. Some guy pulled me off the street, put me in a suit, and told me to talk about the weather. So I gave it my best. I looked at a coloring book and saw there was sunshine, and went from there. I don't know, man. I don't believe in this whole meteorology thing. Hashtag meteorology is a conspiracy. There we go. There we go. I just started something. I think it's going to take off like wildfire. And this is actually my first OpusX, and I know that's... I don't know. I know when I've told other people that I've never smoked an OpusX before, I always get the response like, "Oh, jeez Louise, cheese and rice. You've never had an OpusX before? Oh." Now, I'm not comparing the OpusX to this type of scenario, but that just reminded me too of, when you tell somebody you haven't seen, what's supposed to be like a classic movie, and then they razz you about it, and they're like, "Oh, you haven't seen that movie? Jeez, everybody's seen that movie." Well, not everybody, but anyway, then you go see the movie, right? You spend an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever, watching the movie, and as the credits start to roll, the only question in your mind really is, why am I still friends with that person? Okay, so we are well into the second third here. I did have another burn touch-up towards the end of the first third, and that was a pretty major burn touch-up. And then I had another burn touch-up here in the second third already. So just a little note there. Nothing that I'm necessarily going to dock anything for, but just a little note. Flavor-wise, some earth, sweetness, this nice sesame seed note in there. That's been good. And just this really gentle spice coming in off the pull. So just a gentle spice. Nothing too overwhelming. On the retrohale, that floral and fruitiness is gone, but there's some earth and sweetness there, and it's very subtle. And man, that retrohale, I'm telling you, that retrohale is still really, really super smooth. Super smooth on the retrohale. Sorry, clean off the table there. On the finish, a little bit of roasted coffee, a little bit of sweetness in there, and some earth. And then there's also that spice that I've been talking about basically since the beginning on the finish. That's still there. That spice is just staying nice and present, and it stays through the whole finish. I mean, that hangs on until the next pull. So just really nice on the palate, nice feel in the mouth. Don't be perverts, come on now. It's everybody act our age, get your head out of the gutter. So yeah, really smooth cigar. So we're gonna keep smoking, you know, me and 10 other people I got surrounding me. Gonna keep smoking this down and see what we get. And by the way, that smoke output is awesome. That smoke output has been excellent since the beginning. That draw, I don't know if I just said that already, but the draw is still effortless. Great draw. And also, as far as the aroma from the cigar, it's just a nice sweet nuttiness with just a little bit of spice in there. So very pleasant aroma as I'm just kind of sitting here smoking the cigar. Very pleasant, really nice. Kind of like a friend that, you know, is quiet and supportive. A supportive friend. That's what this aroma is. This aroma is a nice supportive friend that you can talk to on any day of the week about any given topic, and they don't judge you. Alright, so finishing out the cigar here. Flavor-wise, a nice caramel sweetness in there, some toastiness, and this like sesame seed sprinkled vegetal note. And actually just in that pull right there, there's a little floral note in there. Okay, so I didn't get that in the rest of the final third, but I got it on that pull. Retrohale was kind of, it starts out with a nice earthiness, and then right at the end of that retrohale, there's this very strong vegetal note. On the finish, some roasted coffee still. That spice I've been talking about the whole time is still there. And every so often here in the final third, just a little bit of sweetness. Now, at the end of the second third, I think I already mentioned I had a burn touch up in the second third. Also, towards the end of the second third, I had to relight it. Now, you know, if I'm just sitting here neglecting the cigar, playing with myself, then that's kind of on me. But I promise, I was not playing with myself. Anyway, now for the rating of this cigar. So, taking everything in consideration, the draw, effortless. Smoke output, great. Great smoke output. Flavors, we're okay. Very mild, so if mild's your thing, no problem there. Did have a handful of burn touch-ups, had the relight that I just spoke about. And I have to take the price into consideration a little bit here. I know that's a consideration for me. I would assume it's a consideration, if I can talk, a consideration for most people. So for me, the cigar is going to get it too. I just wasn't blown away by the cigar, but hey, you know, this cigar might blow you away. Smoke time for this cigar came out to 2 hours and 4 minutes. And Shelly, it looks like the sun is going to come out after all. Back to you. Guys, as always, thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed this review, have enjoyed other videos, other reviews, please don't forget to like and subscribe. The community is growing little by little. Very cool. I dig that. Any questions or comments, please leave them below. I will get to them as they come along. Until next time, guys, be cool to each other, and I will see you soon.